What's going on YouTube, and welcome back here to another day here in the MC Parks Minecraft server, the one-to-one scaled recreation of Disney World. And we are going down Hollywood Boulevard today. So instead of walking down Main Street, we're going to be walking down Hollywood Boulevard, which is the main street for this park. And that's a really tough that's a tough hill to kind of attack, right? Because of how iconic Main Street USA is. This was the reincarnation of that with the Hollywood theme. And the Imagineers had a really hard time with this one. This was not an easy undertaking for them in the late 80s, trying to figure out how could we potentially even somehow remotely close replicate what we did at Magic Kingdom and Disneyland. And the whole backstory of the creation and the idea of this park all stemmed from, this was supposed to be a pavilion at Epcot, and the Grauman's Chinese Theater and all of that was going to be a part of it in Epcot. And eventually it came to the concept where they came to, we're going to build a new park. And obviously the Universal Studios competition and things like that created this situation where Disney was like, let's create an entirely new park. And the backstory behind Hollywood Boulevard, obviously it opened with the park on May 1st of 1989. And it serves as the park's main entrance and kind of the hub to everything that came around. Now, another thing that happened in the 90s, and yeah, I think it was just the 90s, was they would have tons of different parades that would go down this alleyway. Examples like Aladdin, Hercules, Mulan, and even the Muppets was a concept that they were going to use as parades down Hollywood Boulevard. You look at all the different areas down here, they're all sort of either shops or dining themed around Hollywood, right? So I think this is Sid Cahuenga's Curio Shop or something like that. You have Mel's Drive-In, which is, I think, a stroller access area today. Of course, you have Mickey's of Hollywood, which I think is this one. If I'm not mistaken, it's either this one or this one. But one of these is Mickey's Hollywood. Another one is, I don't know if they recreated it. I think it's this one. It's like the dark room, which used to have like film cameras and things like that. Now, today they sell magic bands, of course, but there's just different like little things in this area. I think this is the dark room, right? It looks kind of like a camera. It's like a giant camera here. Down here you have Keystone Clothiers, which is another building off of the concept in Hollywood. And this area is really the quintessential example of Michael Eisner's opening day ceremony. And in that ceremony, he said, this is a Hollywood that never was and always will be. And the backstory behind that is, there's a Hollywood that never existed, but it's the fantasized version of Hollywood that we always want to remember it as, right? All the good things about it. Like I said, really, the dream fantasy version of the Hollywood era, right? And it's much cleaner than the real California, right, and Hollywood. It's a very cleaned up, quintessential fake reality of this area. You also have areas like the Trolley Car Cafe, which used to be just a bakery, but obviously the Starbucks coming into Disney World, now this is a Starbucks, and they sell some little things here and there. They actually sell some really good stuff in here, like carrot cakes and like cinnamon buns and things like that. They usually sell some pretty good stuff there. What else is down here? I'm trying to remember. I think the Five and Dime, I think, is, again, one of these is the Five and Dime and the other is Mickey's of Hollywood. I don't remember. I get them messed up, but each of those big, it's kind of the emporium of Hollywood Studios. It's their big shop in the park. And like I said, obviously the picture shot, the money shot is down this boulevard, which takes you right to the Chinese theater. And an interesting thing, if you guys remember, right, was in 2000 for the Millennium Celebration, Disney put the very infamous, controversial Sorcerer's Hat in front of the Chinese theater, and obviously that ended up getting taken down, and this space is now just an open courtyard where I think they put the Star Wars show here and things like that, or whatever they do now. I don't even remember what they do here now. But it's just an open area, and you can see they've got the projections and things like that for the projection shows on the Chinese theater. And all this kind of stuff, it's just way more open. I'm kind of, when it first got taken down, I was actually one of the few that was actually disappointed that they were losing the Sorcerer's Hat, because my first 2 trips to Disney World were with the Sorcerer Hat there, and I've had some very good memories with the Sorcerer's Hat there. But I definitely understand the idea of having the Chinese theater as the quintessential thing to look at down Hollywood Boulevard, and it definitely is more themed to Hollywood Studios, and just the entire theming of the park. And as much as I love Fantasia and Sorcerer Mickey, I think it was a good decision to ultimately take it down. And obviously that was taken down January 7th of 2015. On October 27th, 2020, after Disney World's opening, there was a lot of things that were unfortunately taken away from this area. One of the biggest, I think, losses from the pandemic and the world shutdown, one of the few things that hasn't returned, and once the Voyage of the Little Mermaid returns later this year, one of the few things that has not returned yet is the Citizens of Hollywood. And unfortunately, I do not think we are going to see the Citizens of Hollywood return. That was an opening day gag in the park. They used to have people walk around the street here and were kind of actors. And eventually, once they expanded to Sunset Boulevard, they obviously had them down there as well. But when the park opened, this was it. There was no Sunset Boulevard. This used to be a big theater here, the Theater of the Stars. So this was the really only area in this park that you could really visit, and obviously you would go to the back lot and things like that further back in the area, and that was pretty much it. It was a very different park on opening day, but this is one of the few areas in MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios that still is pretty close to what it was on opening day. And over here, this is the statue that also has one of the few references to MGM Studios left. I think the only one left, other than Mama Melrose. They actually have the MGM Studios placard with Michael Eisner's, Hollywood that always was and always, or never was and always will be, quote. And that's pretty much it. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and hopefully you learned something today about Hollywood Boulevard. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time.